edition of Notes on the News, where I share with you headlines from my news feed, and we kick it about the headlines, about the article. If peace, right, you right on time. About the article, about the subject matter at large, about whatever happens to come up. Thank you for the like. Um, but it's not news. It's just my notes on the news. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of those other good things. We're working on 1,000. We're working on 1,000. We're working on 1,000. We're working on 1,000. Yay. Charter subscribers, that is. 1,000. Charter. Are you a charter subscriber? Go on and subscribe. Hit that button. All right. So what is our prince? Is it Nia? Yesterday was Kuumba. Hey, Myosha. Habargani. What's the word for today? Yesterday we had Kuumba. So what is it today? Let us see. Kwanzaa. Oops. What's new and good? What's exciting? I have had an apple. This is new and good. I have had an apple today. I had an orange today. I had some water today. Probably about 10, 12 ounces already. I had some roasted veggies today. I meditated today. I'm getting my life in order. Yeah. Oh no, Imani. Did we skip Nia? We just gonna go forward. We gonna go forward with Imani because I can't remember because we gonna loop back. I had 2 bananas. I'm not. Yeah, the last time I bought bananas, it's about 4 or 5 of them up in the freezer, frozen for me to make smoothies with. And I haven't. That's been like, I'm not a banana person. I don't know. I try. Okay. So we just gonna go forward. If we miss something, we'll catch it the next time. We can't miss nothing that's for us. So we gonna keep going forward. Zawadi. Oh, I don't know what they talking about. Oh, they talking about the gifts for Kwanzaa. I'm just trying to find. Oh, okay. Imani, faith, to believe with all our heart. This is one of my favorite ones. To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Yes! I love that one. To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. And I'm going to add children in there to believe in the children. Yes, I love that. Okay, cousins. So that's the principle for today. Oh, was it Imani? It's Imani because Mommy Imani ran the school here. And she's Pisces. She's definitely a faith-filled woman. Let's see what the Buddha is talking about today. We gonna get to the news. Just hold on. We gotta put it in a framework so that when we process this stuff, we processing it somewhat in our right minds and from the right perspective. We can't just go willy-nilly out looking at the news. We might get confused in it or something. Okay, let's see what the Buddha had to say today. Agony now, agony hereafter. The wrongdoer suffers agony in both worlds. Agonized now by the knowledge that one has done wrong, one suffers more agony, gone to a state of woe. I love the way it's written. The language is funny. Rejoicing now, rejoicing hereafter. The doer of wholesome actions rejoices in both worlds, rejoicing now in the knowledge that one has acted rightly. One rejoices more, gone to a state of bliss. If you live right, you're going to die right. You live right, you're doing the right thing, it's going to feel good. Do the right thing. Spike Lee. That's what Spike Lee told it. Do the right, that's what the movie title was. Do the right thing. You got to do what's right. Do what you know is right. Follow your heart. Okay, so let us proceed with the notes on the news feed. And feel free to drop any good news that you have, in your personal life, in your family life, in your community life. Any good things you heard about in the world, just drop that in. Anything we need to celebrate, know about, acknowledge, all of that. Okay. Keep pooping. Let's see. A volcano eruption in Hawaii has scarred forests and forced residents to evacuate. Here are the dramatic images. So I'm not sure. This is was coming off my news feed. Like, yeah, I was trying to catch up with everything, but I wasn't gonna catch up. So it's here something here recently. So just prayers out to Hawaii. I think Hawaii is in the Ring of Fire. So I don't know if other eruptions are happening in the Ring of Fire, but they didn't mention that anyone had made their transition. But it's disruptive when stuff get disrupted. So just prayers out to the people and the families and the communities and all of us. True crime: mother lashes out in court at kidnapper who stole her baby 20 years ago. So we saw some of us on Iyanla Vanzant, Iyanla Fix My Life. Kamiyah, I think the child's name was. Kamiyah, I can't remember. One was the name that her birth mother had given her, and then she had another name that the woman who kidnapped her when she was like hours old gave her. That woman raised her, I think, around the time she was 16. She came to know that she had been kidnapped. I guess the case kind of happened, or she started figuring it out, I think, when she was trying to get a job. So maybe it was a little older, I don't know. But the person who raised her has been prosecuted, or is in the process, because I think this is coming from the courtroom now. And the young woman is conflicted because she was raised by someone who she, for the most part, thought was her mother, and who, it seemed like treated her good enough. It reminds you of, I don't know why they call it Stockholm syndrome. I feel like we need another name for it. But the ways in which we're like, well, Masa ain't so bad. I mean, I's got food to eat. I's got a place to live. I's got work to do. I mean, he don't rape me all the time, just some of the time. And sometimes Masa, he'll have a party for us, and I don't need to think for myself, because Masa, he think real good. You know what I'm saying? So it's sort of like you start processing things in a way that's sort of like anti your freedom and anti-truth. Because when she was on Iyanla, she really is not open and receptive to hearing anything bad about the woman who kidnapped her. That's her mother. And sometimes that's how we are. You can't tell us nothing bad about Masa. That's a good white man. Afternoon, love like the sun. Or, but I feel like when someone is improper and when someone is incorrect, we need to call it what it is. Now, there's a whole, I don't feel like it's like black and white, because, something was wrong with the woman. Why she out here kidnapping children? I don't know why she did that. For whatever reason, she thought that was a good decision, a good way of moving in the world. It don't sound like she's all bad, and none of us are all bad. None of us are all good. We complicated creatures. We're complicated creatures. But the kidnappation of the child was improper. That was incorrect. That's wrong. And then, you also get the impression, just from like the little bit we saw on Iyanla, and then after the fact, you kind of get the impression that if she had grown up with her birth mother, it might have been some wild stuff, but that's not for us. I don't know. I guess the universe determined it, but, it just kind of makes you think about, hey, the underrated darkness. It just kind of makes you think about, the conflicted ways and the conflicted nature of our relationship. Men, women, sometimes, there's some improper stuff that's going on in the relationship, but I love him. You can't tell me nothing about that man. Don't arrest him. I know he beat me, but I love him. We don't want to hear, it's like, it's some complicated, this little spot is not going to work because I am burning up. I'm about to have to come out of my shirt. I mean, it's just quite warm right here. And it's not that warm outside. I noticed it yesterday, and yesterday I didn't hardly have on no clothes. Okay. And all I got on today is a t-shirt. I ain't got on no clothes today. Shoot. Quiet as this kept. Underneath my clothes, I ain't got on no clothes. So, the child in court, she's like, that I am your mother, or whatever. She's upset, she's disturbed, she's confused, and it's upsetting, disturbing, confusing. Trump apologist tries to defend Sarah Sanders' dismissive behavior at press briefing. April Ryan wasn't having it. I don't know what the details are, but I'm really, really, really appreciating. I never knew who April Ryan was before, but I feel like I like and appreciate somebody who says the truth as they see it. So, I may not agree with everything you say, but I can respect someone who says the truth as they say it, especially as they see it. So she like, the press secretary is supposed to answer questions. What are you talking about, sir? Don't be trying to rewrite, the history and the stuff. This is some bull. So anyway, yeah, that's April Ryan. She up there. She steadily just out here saying what she got to say, what she feel to say. Her face says it. Her body says it. Her words say it. And that's how it seemed to me. My dog is shedding like crazy. I can't stand that. Ugh. I need to take her. I don't know if the groomer could do anything, but I need to take her and have them like brush her a million times. Get all of that loose hair out and off. She's short hair, but anyway. Investigators reveal what caused window to shatter on fatal Southwest Airlines flight. I guess that's the first one, because the second one I don't think had any fatalities. I don't know what caused the shatteration. I accidentally hit the link, so maybe we'll find out. Stay tuned. Trump to address gun-free NRA meeting. So I think this is the same meeting that that the vice president was going to. And it's like an NRA meeting, but no guns are allowed. No guns are allowed. We think guns are good. We think guns are great. We think guns are wonderful. We think the only thing that's to protect you from a bad man with a gun is a good man with a gun. But we ain't don't bring no guns in here around me. Don't be shooting up around me. Well, why don't you bring in all the good men with the guns to protect you from the bad men with the guns? Aren't y'all all the good guys? Huh? So Trump is going to be, I think it's the same meeting. He's going to be at that same meeting. Go on somewhere with that bull. Revenge for Raina. Ghost is on a mission to find his daughter's killer in the new Power trailer. I was so sad to see that child die the way they had already underdeveloped. This is the TV show Ghost. They had already underdeveloped her character to the point where people didn't even realize that Raina and what's her brother's name? That Raina and her brother were twins. They like said it once and then the other little girl, you never even see her. I hate when they do that on shows. Like on Soul Food, which I like, they had that one little girl there who never really spoke. And I'm like, is she supposed to be developmentally different? Is she supposed to be, is she supposed to not be speaking, or did they just not bother to write lines for her? Because if you put a little girl at a table with a bunch of people, most little girls are going to say something. That child never said a thing, hardly. So anyway, Power is coming back. I guess that's the long version of it. Power is coming back. So it kind of got last season. I was kind of like, but I think I'm invested in the characters in a way, so I might watch it. I don't know. It depends on what's going on. I'm gonna watch Greenleaf. I don't know about Power. I might watch Power. I don't know. These ex-Googlers made a Siri for self-care, and they say you might want to date it in 25 years. So it's a machine, and the machine asks you, how are you today? How are you feeling? And the machine listens. And then it asks pertinent questions. Technology and our loneliness, we can't have no relationship with a machine. Welcome to 2018. Is this 2025? By 2025, we all gonna have virtual, not real people that we have relationships with. This is deep. This is crazy. That's crazy. To me, that is crazy. That's crazy. And I think that we're so, Yapo might like that. I think that we're so isolated. I think we really have to, those of us who should really, really pay attention to really cultivating and building relationships IRL, in real life, with real people that we can touch and connect with and vibe with. It's very, very important. Because a computer cannot replace a human being. We need people. We need each other. Lord. Okay, ex-Googlers. Bill Gates, who I don't want to say I can't stand him, but I got both my eyes on him, my good one and my bad one. The one that I'm blind in and the one that I can't see out of. And Melinda Gates, I got my eye on her because you know Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is out here giving GMO seeds, donating or whatever they doing on the African continent. And that's some bull to me. And then listen to this story, or this headline, not the story, just the headline. Bill Gates backs India's scheme to make a database of every citizen. So I knew that they were working on like a universal citizenship database in India, but I did not realize that they were making the database by scanning fingerprints and eyeballs. So they're doing I don't remember what it's called when you scan somebody's eyeballs, but they're like they over there doing the the next century type thing over there in India. Everybody had, now it's supposed to be voluntary. Oh, you don't have to get your eyeball scanned. You don't have to give us your fingerprint. You don't have to be a part of this database. But then when you go to pay taxes or do certain things, if you're not part of the database, you can't do those things. So they're saying, oh, it's voluntary, but it's not voluntary. Because if you don't pay your taxes, it's probably like over here, the KGB, the IRS or whatever their equivalent is probably going to come get you. And so Bill Gates is like, oh, it's great, it's wonderful, it's safe, it's secure. Because all of the stuff that's going on technologically is so secure, right? Okay. Mr. Gates and all the other bull crapping people. Mr. Soul, documenting the best Black television show ever, and you've never even heard of it. Have you heard of Mr. Soul? I never heard of Mr. Soul. Did you hear Mr. Soul? Okay. Hold on one second because I hit on this article because I thought this was really interesting. Soul, S-O-U-L, exclamation point, had every Black superstar alive on its stage. It's so exciting. It's impossible to walk out of the film Mr. Soul without feeling a deeper love and appreciation for the genius and creativity of Black culture. The documentary, we're going to be required to have either virtual friends, babysitters, doctors, lawyers, and whatever else, signs of the time. Now that's something to resist and to fight and to like actively go outside of, because I think a lot of us, we can get comfortable in this, like it's cool for us to be cool, over YouTube or over Facebook or over Twitter, but connect with some people in real life. You know what I mean? We have to resist that because we're human beings. We're human beings. People need people. We need people. And we have to, this is serious. It's serious. It's impossible to walk out of film Mr. Soul without feeling a deeper love and appreciation for the genius and creativity of Black culture. The documentary is a loving tribute to the brilliance of Ellis Hazlitt and his television show Soul, which was steeped in every facet of Black excellence. So I'm not sure which one is Ellis Hazlitt, but here's some imagery. Underneath it just says Ellis Hazlitt. So it's one of those two Black men. This is new. Did y'all know about Soul? I don't. Got soul. And I'm super bad. Hazlitt's niece, Melissa Hazlitt, is the producer and director of the documentary, which might be part of the reason that the film has an intimate, familial tone. The documentary beautifully weaves back and forth through time to tell the story of how Hazlitt and Soul came, airing in the heady, chaotic cauldron of the late 1960s and early 70s. Oh, this when I was being born. But I ain't heard nobody talk about it. It's a mess. At least one virtual professional or reference. Yeah, did you see that episode of Black Mirror? That's the one where I keep referring to that one. The episode where you got rated, in your interactions with people. That's not really that's not really a computer. But anyway, the rating, that's not really relevant. But I think it's something that would be on like Black Mirror. Gotta cut off my Betty Wright, no pain. No pain, no pain. I don't understand. Hey, COG. Conscious of genocide, conscious of genocide. Sorry I'm late. You right on time. Welcome in. So it was a lively weekly television show airing in the heady, chaotic cauldron of the late 1960s and the early 70s that featured Muhammad Ali's brash truth-telling, Al Green's musical sermons, Alvin Ailey dancers, elegant flourishes, James Baldwin's literary mastermind, and that's just to name a few. Wow. You were just singing right on time. Oh, I'll be knowing who people are. I done heard the song. I'm not, if I don't, yeah, I'm not, just bear with me. Numerous classics in dance, film, music, and literature were created in that time period, and Hazlitt, being leaps and bounds ahead of his peers, had the wherewithal to capture all that Black power on tape. Many fledgling artists who went on to become legends made their live national television debut on Soul. Patti LaBelle, who was the very first musical guest, and Ashford and Simpson were all doe-eyed newbies to live television when they walked on the Soul set. Isn't this interesting? It makes you want to go find. They need to put Soul on. Dang, that's what I need to get. What's that? That black, like, it's like black Netflix. What is it called? Quayle. Is it Quayle TV? It's something where, but they need to put Soul. I need to see if I can find Soul somewhere, and I need to get a subscription to that. Had an eye. You think I remember that show? Had an eye for talent. A teenaged Arsenio Hall appeared on the show as a magician. Wow. Okay. That's beautiful. So we got to go see this. Quelly TV, owned by Black woman. Yeah, I need to investigate that. I'm trying to figure out places to circulate my money. I just got it. I'm hoarding it, and I'm trying to circulate it with the blacks, with us blacks, the black people, us black people, with we, us. And I don't have Netflix. Okay. So anyway, check out Mr. Soul documentary. I want to see it. I want to see some of the episodes. I'm excited. It's something I just never even heard of. Wale circulated with me. Yeah, you got a business? Shout out yourself if you have a business. Shout out yourself. What your business is, how we can support you. Wale says his skin color and not being biracial has hurt his career. Oh, you on time for the party. Hey, Miss Poetry. Rottweiler, peace, sir. So Wale, so he's saying that if he was lighter skinned and biracial, his career would have been successful. Some people are more successful. Some people are agreeing with it. Some people are not agreeing with it. Some people are like, if you were more talented, you would be more successful. I think that when we talk about these types of issues, it's important to look at them as not to look necessarily at the individual, but to look at the patterns in general. So I'm not really too familiar with rap music and like who's who, but I know in general in this society, if you're darker skin, you have a disadvantage. If you're lighter skin, you have an advantage. So I'm inclined to believe that, I don't know how talented he is. I don't have an opinion. But I'm sure if he's not the talented one, I'm sure there's some other person who didn't get it's not an equal society. I mean, I don't even really feel like that's I don't even know what the conversation is. So I'm moving on. Dang, I can never, there's this woman who has for the love of juice. I love when she says that, moving on. She has a YouTube channel and I can never mimic it. It's like I can hear it in my head. Verbal altercation flies off the rails after commuter hurls racist insults at Black woman. So I think this is a story we've been talking about. This might be a new story. I'm not sure because I didn't read the story, but the headline, it made me think about, I did skim a story yesterday where a woman was parking and then the man was cussing at her, calling her, maybe, I don't know, but racial slurs. So I don't know if he was calling her nigga. I don't know what it was. And, she was basically like, I'm not backing down. And it kind of made me think about me. Like, I don't know. I don't know, what I would do in the situation, but I have like an aversion to like fighting people and to being around people who seem mentally unstable to me. So like, if I'm like, when I'm around people who seem like something might be wrong with them, or, they might not be, in full, I try to, when it comes to males, hip hop does not have beauty standards when it comes to males. Well, this article I skimmed that they were talking about the biracial one from Toronto. They mentioned like 3 or 4 light skinned guys, but I don't know enough about the industry to know. I was kind of surprised to hear that because I do think of, light skinnedness being specifically focused on women, except that, statistically, there's been research done that shows that, if you're light skinned, you get better jobs. If you're light skinned, you get less time in prison. So it probably applies across the board. I don't think it would be like, isolated. Yeah. So, but I don't know if over a parking spot or over principle, I don't know at what point it would come to where I would be like, oh, I'm about to stand here and fight a man. I'm about to stand here and argue with a man who's yelling, slurs at me. I don't know. I mean, so, I don't know, you know, yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I'm not criticizing anybody who does it because I feel like there all comes a time. Sneak up on a glass of water. I don't even know what that means. But they did give an example in this article of Lil Wayne, him being dark skinned. And I don't know Wale's music, so it kind of made me curious to know, like, because I thought that there was some conversation about Wale having a bunch of light skinned women in his videos. But that was like last year or something like that. But I don't know if it's because, like when I think of Lil Wayne, I always think of, there's some lyric or some line where he says something like, she cute, it means ugly. No, nobody is, I don't believe, I don't, I disagree. But where Lil Wayne said something like, I don't think anybody's ugly. I don't know. I just have a whole different take on it. I think everybody is cute to somebody. Hey, True Royal Family. So I always think of Lil Wayne in the context of, she's cute, but she look better. I bet that bitch would look better red. So every time I hear his name, that's why he done said what he said. He meant it. That's how he feel. That's his value. Like so, I don't know if Wale is out there saying the same, propagating the same types of ideas. But so I don't know. I just don't have enough information. But I did think it was interesting because my initial response, like you, was like, oh, that stuff don't really apply to men, you know. ESPN announcer trolls the Raptors by referring to their home city as Lebronto during latest playoff loss to the Cavs. So LeBron is out here just doing the thing, right? I don't follow basketball, but the other day I think I saw like the end of the game, and it was like LeBron's team. People are like LeBron. People have told me that they don't like LeBron because he's very like arrogant. But then they also told me in the same breath that he gets the job done. I like a man who gets the job done. I mean, I like the idea of get the job done. So LeBron's team is at the Cavaliers. So anyway, when I got to the channel, it was like they were down by 10. Then the next thing I know, they were down by, let me switch phones. My battery is dying. Okay. Then they were down by 5, the Cavaliers. And then they were down by 2. I think the next time they won. And people had already said the first game, I think I saw it on the headline, or I was talking to somebody about it. They were like, they basically won. Hey, cousin Yapo, they basically won because LeBron did the daggone thing. And so I feel like, yeah, LeBronto, he out here. I don't know. I like it. So, and I thought, I don't know if it's funny to troll people, but I think it's funny to call it LeBronto. I got a chuckle. Did you think it was funny? I thought it was funny. Miners in South Africa reach settlement with firms over lung disease. So these are people who are mining for gold, not for coal. I always thought miners and getting lung disease and stuff like that was from the coal, but maybe just being underground jacks your system up. So these South African miners reached a settlement with the firms over lung disease. And again, I kind of just feel like, so now you got lung disease, and does the money, I think it's probably better to have lung disease with money than to have lung disease without money. So we're not going to argue that. But I feel like it's better to not have lung disease at all. And I feel like we in here underground, not me personally, but my cousins over in South Africa, they in the ground, jacking up their lungs. Are we sharing in the profit? Is this like a risk that I'm taking that's worth it because, it's my business and I'm hitting it hard doing what I got to do for my business? Or am I an employee who just happened to like luck up on a settlement? So anyway, I don't feel underrated. You good, fam? I don't feel um um I don't feel I don't know. I'm just like not I'm noticing I'm not here for the apologies. I'm not here for the payoffs. I'm here for doing stuff proper from before. And I know we can't go back. So I don't even know how to make peace with it because I feel like it's improper. You can't correct it, not with money. If my daddy's lungs are messed up, I don't even want to. I'm done with that. Pirates massacre Guyana fishermen off Suriname coast. Okay, y'all, I am burning up. Hey, Information Man Show. That's why the diamond trade I try not to support. They killing us in the coal mines over there. Right, I'm thinking coal mines, but this is not diamond. This is gold mines. It feels like a mess. It feels like a mess. I know it's not a mess, but it feels like a mess. And it's yeah, this little area here is oh, okay. So prayers out, prayers out to all of us who do the work that we feel that we have to do to survive and to feed our families, and to have dignity and but just prayers out to our bodies and our souls, and just let us see the path out, let us see the path through, let us be okay. We all have experience. So pirates massacre Guyana fishermen off Suriname coast. So I guess this used to be a big thing, like the pirates, and they had gotten it under control, and now it's getting back out of control. And I'm just sort of like, they're massacring fishermen. Like, are they massacring fishermen to take their fish? Is fish a big profitable, not all this fish. It's a bounty. I got this big bounty of fish. Like, so I'm gonna kill some people. I'm gonna massacre. Like, what? We doing this over fish? It's not over gold and diamonds and stuff. I mean, I don't know. So that kind of, and y'all know I'm looking at Costa Rica and in that region of the world. So I'm kind of like, pirates. YouTube gets food wars. Oh, it's food wars? Oh, okay. I might need to like do some more research or some research on it. Diane Corns. I don't know who that is, but Information Man is doing a live stream. Are you on California time? You talking about 1 something? It's already after 1 here, so you must be on it's probably 11 there, so in a few hours. YouTube gets 1.8 billion logged in viewers monthly. So, okay. Yeah, is that the translation of Eastern Standard Time? So, right, and in poetry, you on Central Time. That's what we were on in Mississippi. So 1.8 billion logged in viewers monthly on YouTube. So they're saying, yes, but I'm supporting your channel now. Okay. Thank you. Yep, Midwest. I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Detroit. We in the Midwest. We on Eastern Time. So they're saying that YouTube has way more viewers and way more engagement than they have good engagement and growing engagement. And I don't know, I can only talk about, are you on Eastern or Central Time, Iapo? I can only talk about my experience of YouTube, but I'll tell you this, over the last, I guess probably since I discovered YouTube, I have increased my engagement and my interaction with YouTube. You on the East Side. Yes, I am on the East Side. No, I'm not. Because those Negroes on the East Side, they were like all red. Like red suit, red shirt, red tie, red shoes, red socks. But it kind of reminds you of the Caribbean, and it reminds me of some people I've met in the Caribbean and some images I've seen in Africa. You got it. You supporting me now. Those bloods, but it don't have to be red. It could be green or purple. And then in my bedroom right now, it could be red and purple, or whatever. But the point is, from the gators to the hat, we style it, on the east side. Now people on the west side are a little bit, a little different in their style. Okay. Are the best cities in America truly best for everyone? So this is coming off of Atlanta Black Star. This is the story I've been trying to ask whenever I see the question I ask whenever I see those headlines, like the best cities to live in, the best places to buy houses, the best places to travel. I always assume that they're not coming from my perspective, and they probably not the best for me. You put in that work. Um, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I could feel it coming. Now this is a silk scarf, and I have the hardest time with this thing, with the silk one. Right, I always ask, is this for Black people? And it's not. So I'm glad that Atlanta Black Star is looking into it, research, because I feel like that's what we need. We need, the modern day green book. We need to have conversations about what works for us, who's for us, all of that. Who has Quelle TV? Who has Quelle TV? Tell us something about Quelle TV, your experience, what you watch. Who heard of the Soul TV show? Okay. The 5 greatest slave rebellions in the history of the United States, or enslaved people rebelling in the history of the United States. I feel like we need to talk about this more. We need to talk about this more. That we fight and rebel. That's what we've always done. Some people say we fought since we got on the shores. We fought from before we got on the shores. If you snatch me up right now in my house, I'm gonna start fighting. I'm not gonna wait till you get me across the ocean to start fighting. We've been fighting. We fighters. That's what we do. And you don't hear, we need to talk about it more. There's I Spread My Wings and Fly. There's a sister here who wrote a book. I heard that MoviePass went back to their original pricing plan and structure. Yeah, we talked about it a couple of days ago. But I got MoviePass. I think I'm a pass on the MoviePass. I'm not an early adopter, and it's too much. Resisting arrest, all of that. But in I Spread My Wings and Fly, she had a list. When I went to her talk, and she just talked about like all of the different rebellions and uprisings, and it's things you never hear about. And she was just talking about one county in Louisiana during a certain time period, and it was like it just kind of shifted it shifted my paradigm, And the same thing, I know I keep talking about underground, but the same thing with underground. Like I really appreciated the idea of, instead of what I kind of felt well, we's just a beat. I've been doing my slave. I don't know why I don't know if it's a good slave voice, my version of the slave voice. Well, we's just a beat down, and we's just enslaved, and it's just so sad. It was like everybody was fighting, trying to get free, trying to, have freedom, mental freedom, spiritual freedom, emotional freedom, physical freedom, all different levels, layers, all of that. You know what I mean? Like, that's who we are. That's what we do. That's the human condition. We're human beings. Some might say, if there was a hierarchy of human beings, we are, leave it up to Kanye. We choose in slavery. I was listening to somebody yesterday who was talking about, and I don't follow all of this stuff, so I don't understand it, but they were talking about the the ultra something programming, and how he seemed like, I don't know what he on, and he may just be on, ignorance. He may be on white supremacy. He may be on self-hate. He may be on K Ultra or whatever it is, but he got issues. He crazy. Going through it with that fan. I remember those days. I know somebody said the other day, I think you might be going into menopause. I'm like, what? Now, my mother been trying to tell me for however long that I'm going into menopause, but that's just because she think we supposed to do everything together. But she's my mother. I'm not supposed to. I think that it's when I sit here, I think it's something about the this place ain't going. I'm not gonna be able to work here because it's like yesterday. I noticed I was burning up here, and I, and I'm woo. um, Destrahan's plantation insurrection. I don't even like the term plantation. Like I want a term like prison work camp where people were beaten, tortured. That don't sound graceful or elegant. A lot of younger women don't realize it. Yeah, that's what she said. It could be early onset menopause, and it was like early insult. Like I don't know why she want me. That's my girl though. I love me some my mama. You're upstairs, right? No, I'm on the first floor. I'm on the first floor. And upstairs, these old houses have these built-in fans. So, well, these old houses, not all of them. But upstairs, when it gets hot and you turn that fan on, it sucks all forced labor camps. But I want it to sound brutal, like I feel like forced labor camps. I mean, I don't know. In plantation, I don't know. I just feel like the language does not capture the foulness and the brutality and the BS that it is. It's like I feel like when I hear the word American death camps. Yeah, yeah. When I hear, I want it to like that's kind of evocative. We gonna keep playing with it. We gonna get it, cause okay. Destrahan's plantation insurrection, a major slave revolt, almost forgotten. Have you heard of it? Destrahan's? I've never heard of it. We out here learning stuff that's not productive or relevant for our movement in this world, for our development as human beings, for our freedom and our liberation, mental and we know all kinds of bull, but the stuff we need to know this stuff. How are you? On January 8, 1811, a slave revolt led by Charles Deslandes swept through Destrahan's plantation. Dee's plantation insurrection began at the plantation of Manuel Andre in St. John the Baptist parish. Slaves attacked Andre, wounding him and seizing any weapons that could be found. The revolutionaries, I like that they use the term revolutionaries. I can't rewrite history, but I feel like, why are we wounding people? Is that like I might be like yeah, I don't think I'm necessarily, I don't know. Why are we wounding people? The revolutionaries marched downriver, recruiting additional enslaved people as they headed towards Nolens, y'all. On January 9th, word spread about the revolt down the river plantation, and some residents began to flee the plantation for their safeties. Others stayed behind. 4 a.m., the swamps captured and brutally killed. Okay. A survey taken afterward indicated approximately 66 were killed in the revolt and others missing or captured and held for retrial, carried out for many years following the revolt. And then that's the other thing. A lot of times, like, it seemed like we the ones that's more murdered up in the stuff than they are. So I kind of feel like, well, what kind of goddamn revolt is that? If I'm a revolt and, I feel like at least 3-4 of y'all got to go for it. If I don't know. That kind of gets on my nerves. Because it's like when you hear the numbers, it's like, it's like watching the movies. Bodies were fed to alligators in those swamps. There's somebody doing research. I can't remember who it is. At one point I had gotten really into trying to follow their research, but there's this whole body or this one person who talks about the fact that there were whole communities of us living in those swamps. and that there were islands and like there's whole societies in those swamps, and that there was like it was a protective barrier because people are like, oh, the alligators, oh, the swamps, but if you knew how to navigate it, you could live there, and we live there and live free. And I love the idea of it, and I love the I guess I feel like I choose to believe that. That's what it is. I choose to believe that. I believe that that's true. I believe that there have always been places where we were free, and we created places where we were free and we were clever. We talked about Kuumba yesterday, creativity. We were clever. We were creative in our creation of spaces where we could be free. And we continue to do that. Raspberry Street Schools, how Anthony Benezet educated Blacks for 20 years before Philadelphia established a public school for Blacks. We need to continue to do that. I don't know why I do know why on some level. It's hard to tease out all of the like logistics of, but it's like they educating our children. Our children are our greatest resource. Now, if we tried to it almost feels like an impossible situation. I don't know if the answer is, because I do know that if our consciousness shifted and we tried in mass to pull our children out of public schools into homeschooling, they would be on our behinds like white on rice. The good rice is brown. It's light brown, but it's still brown. It's wholesome. It's healthy. They are miseducating our children. Yeah. And we need to, yeah. And even with the miseducation, interestingly enough, there are those of us who are sane. I'm always amazed because the way that I grew up with a certain, consciousness and certain information, but so many of us did not, and I'm like always amazed that any of us managed to, find any sort of truth and any sort of sanity. And, even despite the miseducation, it's like, we find our right minds, bits and pieces of it, and more, we find truth. Racists allegedly hack voting system after 3 Black teens led semifinals in NASA tech competition. I'm not sure. I just saw the hackation here. I think in the earlier headline I had seen that'll come up later. They were like, they changed the rules when the Black team was winning. I think it was girls. When the Black team was winning, they like, oh, wait, we said that you got to do A, B, and C. We changed it. It's Z, D, and D. Whatever they doing, that's the winning. A family who started drinking. Yeah, I feel like I don't know what the specific details are, but I feel like, for any of us, I just, y'all are some bad people. And not by bad, I mean good. James Brown Brad. From the same fountain. Oh, started drinking from the same fountain. Oh, got that wisdom passed on to me. Oh, yes. Yep, I think there's all kinds of like resistance, big and little. When we pick up on that, integration dilutes the fight in us. I don't know, because sometimes it's sort of like when you integrate it and you buy the people. Like I feel like growing up in Detroit around basically Black people, when I went to school, to college, it's kind of like I had a whole different experience. Like that intimacy, I don't want to say it bred contempt, but it bred, I went in with a certain consciousness. I mean, and nobody told me, necessarily white people ain't nothing. But I mean, it was just obvious to me. It's like, they ain't smarter than none of us. They ain't better than none of us. I mean, they ain't got nothing on us. To me, I mean, so I don't know. I don't know if it's just the integration. I think it's like the mindset. And like when you talk, Brother Yapo, about the separation in our head, like we got to continue to work on, our minds and how we're processing things and how we're able to see things. Because the truth is right there. The truth is right there. We just have to see it. The truth is right there. This daggone headscarf. Outrage over truck drivers' fine for hitting motorcyclists. Now, I think this was in India, and I don't know what the fine was, but they ain't feel like it's enough. You can't be out here hitting a motorcyclist. Now, I have a family member who made his transition. He wrote them. Well, he was married into the family, but he was a biker and he died. And he had little kids, like, 5 to, and I don't know. I'm not a fan because I feel like it's dangerous. But people say they love it and the way it feel and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm not a fan. You know, I feel like you out here, you just out here. You ain't got a windshield. You ain't got metal on the front, the back, the sides. So you just out here. People can hit you. So I'm not blaming the motorcyclist, but I mean, I'm just saying. Hashtag Black Girl Magic. North Carolina teen earns 4.5 million in scholarships and gets into 113 colleges. So I don't know where these people just applying to a million schools a year. Oh, peace. Oh, feel better. Feel better. Rest. Zora Neale Hurston's book about an emancipated slave who co-founded Africa Town will finally be published 87 years later. Good. And they say when you rest, if you still here, you're supposed to close your eyes and lay down. Don't try to multitask. Just rest. Let your mind rest. Let your body rest. Just rest. Get well and come back, Yapo. Oh. Sonia sees you change your avatar all the time. I like that one. I was looking at it, I think last night or something. I like Zora Neale Hurston. I like the idea of the woman saying she's 10 years younger than she is. I like the idea of her being like, I love being black. I like the idea of, and we went to the same college. I like Zora Neale Hurston. So I don't know what her book is about, but I like Their Eyes Were Watching God. I thought it was interesting. Tea Cake. And it seemed like I've read some of her other work, but I can't think of it offhand. But I'll check it out. Checking out Zora Neale Hurston. Pennsylvania student gets his butt kicked for repeatedly using pro-black activists. Okay. Pennsylvania student gets his butt kicked for repeatedly using N-word, but faces no better than sheep. But how many are there? I don't even know where. I wouldn't be able to come up with. I don't know. That's like, I don't know. You'll do better counting coons. No, because then you'll have that on your consciousness as you go to sleep. Don't listen to Sonia C's cousin of Yapo. Don't listen. Pennsylvania student. Oh, we talked about that. Oh, so he faces no discipline from the right. That'll keep you awake, get you all agitated and upset. Your spirit won't rest. Your body won't rest. You'll be choking up people. And the indigenous cricketers honoring Australia's 1868 heroes, coons. So apparently, or I think that what I gather from this is that cricket was founded by, oh, no. What they were saying is that they had some of the native people of Australia, the people who have some melanin, and that they had taught them cricket or something. And so I couldn't really follow it. No, go on. Everybody be quiet until the Yapo leaves the room. Don't say nothing. This is Nina Simone's song. Don't put nothing in it unless you feel it. Don't say nothing else until that man leave the room. Shh. Is he gone? So they were some of the first cricketers, or they played just as good as everybody else, and so it showed, it made the Europeans feel insecure, like, oh, if they learn how to do it, they can do it just as well as us. I skimmed the story. I can't even now remember what it was. Is he gone yet? Sonya, don't beat him. He's sick. Don't cuss him out. 40 years of spam email. Who even knew that there were 40 years of email? 40 years of spam? Dang. I thought it seemed like well, I don't know, maybe I've been out of college for 40 years, but it seemed like when I was in college, that's like when email was first starting. For regular people, I think they had it for like the postal service. He already gone, right? He's gone. Chrome learns to mute sites based on your web history. So they mean literally mute them. Like, you know how I guess when you hit certain sites, they'll start playing a commercial and the commercial will be like, ah, blah, 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 and sometimes the commercials will be silent. So based on your history, Chrome is muting certain videos. Ma'am, that man is in bed. We are not talking to him. He is resting. The Collective PAC announces big plans to get Black candidates elected this November. So there's something called the Collective PAC, the Collective. I like that, the Collective. Maybe because, yeah. Okay, so I don't know. Politics. Former Temple, I like collectives. I like the idea of collectives. Former Temple U cops found guilty of brutalizing, killing Philadelphia woman. This is coming off of the Griot, so I'm assuming that either the woman is Black and or the cops are Black. I don't really know what the story is. But rest in peace to the woman who made her transition. And shame on you, the people who, you know, are out here brutalizing and harassing people. Cut it out. Cut it out. I'm not playing with you. Okay. Jay-Z just got a third subpoena from the SEC. So far, he has refused to cooperate. The Security and Exchange Commission. Why he getting a subpoena from them? What's going on? Why isn't he cooperating? Is it lawyers are advising him to do that? Are they trying to take him down? Is this some foolishness? Is he like in a catch-22? If he give him the information, he gonna be going down. If he don't give him the information, he gonna be going. You know, he on the list to be like almost a billionaire. Maybe some people saw him in Forbes and they like, oh, we about to get this NIGGER. He going down like the Titanic. It's over. It's a wrap. We can't have no Black people out here who had no money. They all got to be broke and just under distress. I don't know. Has he been messing with Trump? I don't know. I never got that impression, but I don't know. See, sometimes too, the thing about politics and like, you know, what somebody does in public can be very different from what they do in private. Their public persona, him and his wife, doesn't give me that impression. Kevin Hart got played by his friend of 15 years, extortionist revealed. So this seemed to be like a big source of conversation and distress for people. And, you know, I guess what was kind of interesting to me about it, or I guess my initial response is like, Kevin Hart, I don't know him, but have the impression of him as so dirty that I'm like, of course his friends are dirty and grungy. That's what I think like would attract like. You know, Jay-Z is too rich and influential to be so ignorant about history. Well, being rich and influential doesn't make you you have to study and learn and be exposed to things in order to have knowledge. Money doesn't give you knowledge, you know. So I don't know. And I don't, you know, he doesn't seem more ignorant than, you know, your average person to me. You know, he seems a little less ignorant, but I don't know. You know, maybe I don't really follow him that much. He needs to study and stop talking. And I really don't get the impression of him talking that much, you know, but I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. I don't follow him much. And people were like, his friend, Trump is dumb. His zero is a zero. Me, zero charisma, zero intelligence, zero value. He offers nothing. He adds no value. Zero, he doesn't exist. He's not real. Um, so this idea of, I mean, we were talking earlier about virtual friends, that these, but also I think that we have to be, as we're building relationships in real life, he needs to learn about issues before he speaks on them. Oh yeah, I don't know. I really don't hear much about, I ain't watching her pockets. um, it's a spider web up there. I thought this spider was about to get this fly. White folks always sticking the mic in his face. That's interesting. I've seen him like interview, like he might have been, I think he was I think I saw it. I didn't see the interview, but I saw like a piece of an interview with Oprah. I don't know if I ever really see him. I don't follow him. My brother is like, well, when he was a child, he told me that was his favorite rapper. So that's the only way that I even knew his name. 15, 20 years ago, he said, Jay-Z, and I was like, oh, who is Jay-Z? So I tried to pay attention, but I'm not enough into rap that I couldn't get excited, or I couldn't really pay attention, so I don't know much about him. But as we're building relationships in real life, being quality people, we're gonna work on yourself. And as you're, being a quality person, being a person of integrity, being a person of honor, being a person of truth, being a loving person, being a kind person, being an honest person. These things are important, and these things are going to affect the type of people that you attract into your space. And it's also going to affect and impact your ability to discern, some bull. Now, some things we have to learn, you have some bad experiences that, are opportunities to learn and grow, but, I wasn't really, for Kevin Hart, Mr. Hart, I wasn't really feeling bad for him. I don't know. I mean, he just seems janky to me. TMZ staffer who called out Kanye, I was conflicted and I was weirded out on TV. Okay. So I've seen a couple episodes of TMZ. It seems very light and fluffy. It's all kicks and giggles and gags and laughs and jokes. So that when I heard that a black person had called Kanye out, I'm thinking it was the light-skinned guy with locks. I think he might be gay, but I'm thinking it was him. But I was surprised to see it was this young guy he just seemed like he's always full of jokes. And what it reminded me, and what it kind of gave me a sense of, or like just brought back to mind, that I was surprised at the way in which he called, I was surprised that he had that much going on. And so it just reminds me that you can't tell always to look at somebody what's going on with them. If they're like, at work, they may talk, Van can be very articulate. Yeah. Mr. Superboy, I don't know who he is, but I've always heard him talking about people's booties, and I don't know, I've never really, maybe I just haven't seen the shows where he was articulate, or I mean, he's funny, he seemed clever, so I don't think he was dumb. I just didn't think he had any consciousness at all. Kanye said, don't speak, and he didn't speak. So, it just reminds me that you don't know what's going on inside of somebody's mind and how they're processing stuff. Because I was kind of like, I was just kind of like surprised, I guess a little pleasantly surprised too. But he's deep. Okay. When one of you peeps says, come on this club, tell them I'm good. We're having cousins and cocktails. Oh, cussing and cocktail? Dang, we supposed to have cussing and cocktails. Cussing and hey, Gemini X, welcome on the chat. Okay, so yeah, that was that. Black girls were winning a STEM competition, so why did NASA switch up the rules? And I was kind of like, when I saw the headline, Van cried too much. When I saw the headline, I'm like, maybe because the black girls were winning the competition. Is that why they changed it? Maybe, I don't know. That would be my theory. I didn't read the story, but I think that's the piece that we were talking about earlier. Black woman not backing down from older man who unleashes racist tirade against her over parking spot. I don't think he released it over parking spot. I think he released it over, his feeling of being entitled to something because he white, or feeling stressed because he feel like he losing his privilege. Keep moving the goalposts. Right. That's some bull. That's what, and that's what happens when you're playing their game. How you gonna win at their game? I can just change. I'm gonna change the rules so that I win. And if I can't or don't want, I'm gonna take my ball and go away. We playing that game. We can't. You're not gonna win playing. That's a losing proposition. We gotta play our game. We're playing our game. We win at our game. Um, Newark plans to offer free lawyers for low-income renters facing eviction. Cape Town loses Airbnb Africa market share as other destinations gain traction. I've never used Airbnb. Rihanna shares why she no longer feels guilty about making time for love. Shoot, she needs to make time for love and relationships. Relationships are important. Your career is important and building is important, but relationships are important too. I don't know who she making time to relate to, but I don't know. I'm not in her. That's her business, I guess. Detroit radio station echoes call to hashtag mute Kanye. Now, when I first saw it, I thought it was mute R. Kelly. And then I realized, oh, it's mute Kanye. So I guess somebody over here is like, we ain't playing no Kanye stuff. And I kind of feel like I don't play. That's in a situation where I can't boycott. I don't play his stuff anyway, or that I know of. But I wouldn't. I mean, I feel like you ain't here for me. I ain't here for you. I ain't going to be chasing after, Good. F Starbucks too. I was thinking the other day, the boys took $2. They can't even buy nothing at the place. Well, they took $1 each, but they can't even buy nothing there. Why are elephants smashing the Rohingya refugee camp? They're wild elephants. I thought maybe they were trained elephants and they were like trying to tear down their camp, but they're wild elephants. It seemed like they just having a hard time, these Rohingya. The innovation turning desert sand into farmland. CIA Director Gina Haspel's Thailand torture ties. So it's funny, you see this, or I saw the image of this white woman with very thin lips, like her top lip out. Yeah, she ain't had no top lip, which is neither here nor there. But when I looked at the image, I was like, wow. But it's just like an old white woman. Or an older white woman. I shouldn't say, I'm sure she's more than that to other people, but to me, she just looked like an old white woman. And it's like, wow, she out here, allegedly, a part of torturing people. And that's the thing. A lot of times, you look at people and like they're evil and they're participating in evil and they're about evil. And like they just like, how when the serial killers like finally get caught, the people are always like, I mean, he seemed like such a nice guy. He was my neighbor for 20 years. Like you can't look at the person. You have to look at a person's actions to know the person. You can't look at they thin lips. That might be a hint right there. But I'm just saying, you got to look at a person's actions to know who they are. Sometimes you can look at their heart, you can vibe, but you gotta, the actions, tell a lot of the story. Have always been the masterminds. Look at The Handmaid's Tale, the master wife, the queen. Couldn't put it past them. I'm not up on this week's Handmaid's Tale, but I tell you that character that I think about, this season. You said her. Right, I didn't even know. That's funny. Her lip is neither here. I don't know if I normally notice stuff like that. I think I normally notice people with big lips, but I don't think I normally notice, because I like lips and it's like it's mustache, mustache. Remember when everybody had vanity plates and you tried to figure out what they meant? Right, they've been but the one character on Handmaid's Tale, like the big head auntie in charge, she seemed to sincerely be a believer, But I feel like, yeah, they've been out here, they pinch us, they beat us, they mad at us, they, haven't, the women they co-conspirators, they in it together, they partners in crime, they, I think there's this illusion of like, oh, the poor innocent woman. I don't believe in that, That's just like, and I noticed it with myself when with Zero. At first, I was kind of like buying into this whole thing of like, you should catch up. That's what Sarah Huckabee Sanders was compared to her. When I first with Zero's wife, I was like, um, um, you know, oh, it's so sad. I feel so bad for her. And then, now this is really weird. I listened to, I think it was Three Hoodoo Sisters. I think it's a YouTube channel. She does tarot readings. And I listened to a reading about Zero's wife. And she was like, he was talking about Zero. She was talking about Zero's wife or Zero's daughter. I can't remember which one, but she was basically like the wife of the show. She was talking about how, I think the daughter is very conscious of the legacy and the legacy of her children, and like, and but it just kind of like, I don't know, it like helped me to snap out of it. Like, wait a second, they're complicit, they're a part of it, they're benefiting, their children are a part of it. I'm here for my children, so of course they're here for advancing the agenda of their children. They ain't no innocent victims. I don't feel no sorry for them. Why am I sitting around feeling sorry for them? Anyway, just pray for me. Pray for me. DR Congo crisis. Why a trainee nun was shot to death at church. Don't feel sorry for them, right? We got plenty of 10 times more wicked than her husband, right? I don't know, but she ain't no innocent, and I got plenty of, if I want to feel sorry for somebody or feel bad or feel empathy or compassion, I could start writing my own circle. They way, 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 way far out of my area of concern. So they, in DR Congo, I guess a lot of people are Catholic. I think they said 47% are Catholic, and so the Catholic Church is very influential. And so when the nuns and the priests and stuff are involved with political things and it causes an issue, I think that this is one of the countries, if I remember correctly, where we were talking about 5-year terms yesterday. The 5-year terms, they done serve they 2 5-year terms, whoever is the president, and he like, I ain't going nowhere. I don't care if the Constitution says I get 2 5-year terms. I'm taking more. And so the people some people are protesting, some people are upset. Some of the Catholic Church people are leading the protest. So this nun was shot dead at church. I guess the people who are in charge are resisting the people who are resisting them staying in charge beyond what they are legally supposed to do. So that was the impression that I got from the article. Again, this is coming off of BBC. I think that's what Zero will do too. Yeah, me too. Me too. I think that there's a whole like force of people who are armed and dangerous and have certain consciousness. And I think that there are certain branches of the military that, like, I think he's done tests to see who's with him. Like, I think it's a whole my hand. I think there's a whole, this is like just gonna speaks to my heart. I don't know what it means, but I guess it's just like a message to the soul. Yep, that's what I think. I think he paid, yeah. Yep, I agree, poetry. So rest in peace to the nun who made her transition. Her brother is a priest as well. So he was saying we're gonna continue to fight. We not, they got an altar up or whatever. At least 2 people injured at shooting in California apartment complex. His name is Razor. The nun's brother's name is Razor. I don't know what's going on. This was from yesterday, I think, the shooting at the Razor the super cat. Oh, y'all must be having a conversation. Y'all following it. Okay. So I don't know what was going on. My cat, oh, he bit your, I missed the part. I like a cat. I've been watching on YouTube. They have this feral kitty thing. It's like a cat, a paternity ward, they call it. So every once in a while, look at the little kitties, and they're all cute, and then mama's nursing them and stuff. They don't do anything but like nurse, and they eyes are barely open, so it's just like, oh, little kittens. It's not really that exciting, but sometimes you don't need excitement. I'm still in bed. I hear that. Stephen Hawking's last paper has been published on multiverse theory. New Jersey mystery pooper was school's chief, says police. So they say it was a superintendent. Every day on the track, they would find human feces. Now, I don't know how you know the difference between human feces and dog feces. I don't know. Like, if I came on a pile of boo-boo on the road, I would probably just assume it was dog boo-boo. I wouldn't know that it was, I don't know. Would I know? I don't know. But they, on the track, the children and the coaches and stuff, every day they were finding human feces. And it was like a thing to figure out who's doing the do. And it was the superintendent. And I was like, the superintendent as in, you know, like you have a building superintendent who cleans up the building and is responsible for the physical plant. Oh, it looks different. Okay, well, I don't know if I'm a look, but you know, they were clear that it was human feces. Or if they meant the superintendent, like the superintendent of public schools, like and I think it's like the head person in charge. And the article was weird because it was like, well, maybe he has an issue where he can't hold it. And I'm like, he needs to have another plan other than skitting on the road of the track of the school every day. I mean, that just is disgusting. Like, I feel like, right, it's a bullshit. I feel like something is, that I don't think that's like, I think that's a sign of like mental illness. Like, that's not, I don't think that's like normal. You know, even if you have something physically, like I had a friend who could not hold her bladder for very long. And so there were times when she would literally use the bathroom in public. But she would be like in a store, like, I need to use the bathroom. They'd be like, oh, we don't have a public bathroom. She like, I got an issue. If you let the room happen right here, but it is going to happen 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, come on, ma'am. And sometimes they weren't like, but I don't know. That was a very weird story. So he's the mystery pooper, and they had all kinds of cute, like, I don't know if they're cute, but like poopery, like, you know, clever names to make fun of the poopation. Nigerian companies raided over cough syrup addiction. So over the last 4 days, it's just been story after story after story on this Nigeria cough syrup. In addiction and codeine and opioids and, you know, in Nigeria. IHOP offers customer $10 gift card as apology after waitress writes racial slur on receipt. So it's $10. Is that, we happy about the $10? Will we be happy about it? I'm not happy about $10. Would I be happy about $100 if they gave me $100 a gift card? Is it a gift card for Waffle House or for IHOP? Would I be happy about 1,000? I mean, how could they compensate me for their staff person writing on the thing NIGGER? They have a shitter on the video in the act. Is he? So like $10 to me seems laughable. That obviously does not seem like, you know, first of all, it's a big major corporation. I feel like you could just on GP do better than $10. But I mean, where we at? We at 5,000, we at 1,000, we at 800, we at 500, where we feel comfortable. I don't know. I know I don't feel comfortable. I ain't never going back to IHOP, so you don't need to give me nothing that I can only spend there. In Caymans, global walls, he's a cave beast. He act like it. That's what it's, yeah. Disclosure in the Caymans, global walls of the financial secrecy are falling. Oh, so they're talking about 400 years of their nastiness. Cook at home. Right. Cook at home. Prepare your own food. Prepare good quality foods. Grow as much of your food as you can. Yeah. They eat shot for sex. I'm sorry, just they eat shot for sex. I'm sorry, just facts. I don't even know what that means. You saying that white people, they eat boo-boo for sex? Like, it's like, was he boo-booing so somebody could come along and eat it and then that's like them having sex? The ways of people, some people are very difficult to decipher. So they're talking about the 1% and the ways in which they steal money and hide it and move it around and, do all of these secret things, and how, the Caymans, they eat baby poop out of diapers. Wow. I've never, yeah. How they're, all of this stuff is going on, and like the Cayman Islands, there are different places where they hide money and, all of this other, hide from taxes. And I don't know why they hide in the state system. Why they gotta hide? But anyway, if it was my system, what happened to normal? Right. What is normal? If it was my system, I'd be like, it's my money and I'm taking all the money, and what you gonna do? If that's who I was, I'd just be like, I'm not gonna, but I guess if your nature is to be sneaky and secretive and, sleazy, I guess that's how you move. Fucking horses and dogs. Oops. Effing horses and dogs. Yeah. Yeah, it's some stuff out here for you, or not for you, but for create genderless babies. A former Volkswagen CEO was charged with conspiring to mislead regulators during the company's emission scandal. So I don't know why, but for whatever reason, maybe because I had stopped. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe because I had a cabriolet. It was like one of my favorite cars. It was an orange convertible, and I just loved. It's like a compulsion. I'm trying to be a part of the conversation. I'm gonna try. So I don't know. It was a VW cabriolet, so maybe I just thought VW was better, and then somebody else I knew had a VW, and it was like, oh, it's a great car. So I was like, I don't know if I could say I was disappointed, because that's a strong word, but I'm like, oh, I thought VW was better, really, but I was like a little like tinge of that before the whole emission scandal. But they like all the same, they big corporations. That's what they do. The $168 extreme cutout jean that confused the internet have already sold out, and you need to join a wait list to get them. Did y'all go out and buy them jeans? Y'all done bought out all them jeans, the Emperor's new clothes. Do y'all remember the picture? So they sold out. Black Panther star Winston Duke credits Black women for healing his insecurities. So he's basically like, even though for some of us, I'm sure there were some people who watched him who thought, oh, he's very attractive. I'm sure there were some people who watched him who thought, oh, he's not attractive to me. As it's no accounting for taste. Everybody's taste is different. But he wasn't feeling good about himself. And he didn't, but it was like, I guess it was some Black women who were like, oh, you're attractive. And he started building up his confidence. And now I guess he's like, he feels like he's universally attractive. So, but, I don't know. I guess some Black women don't like, like when we were talking earlier about, people being ugly or whatever. I think my sense of like ugly is probably different. Now, my sense of ugly usually has to do with like to me, Lil Weezy, Wayne, whatever, call your daddy is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is ugly because like the stuff that I've heard about him, it seemed like whenever I hear something about him, it's like, ugh, it make my face look like this. So then that's how I feel about him. Like that's like, I don't know. And then sometimes somebody could look a certain way, but if they feel a certain way, it's like, ew, they ugly, But like if you like somebody, when I like somebody, they're just cute to me. I don't know. So the character, he said, he was talking also about like how, how bold and how strong the character was in the movie, like, woof, he was like, and he was also, he said, I think also by him being a bigger guy, he said that a lot of times in America, people are naturally intimidated and naturally assume that he's like a bad person. And I don't know if I naturally assume that. I don't know if do we assume that big Black guys are bad. Or is that a white people thing? I don't know. But you think they bad, like he bad. You know what I mean? Like that kind of bad, but not like, But he says that he can't move in the world like his character in Black Panther because, it's America. I like a wide nose. And I'm not supposed to read it out loud. Me too. I like Black people. I like people who look Black. To me, But yeah, it's like I just think that, there's like a generosity that's like attractive, I don't know. And I have never, I know some people are like, oh, he's cute for a white guy. And it's like, that's a concept. I don't know. I mean, and it probably has to do with like how I feel about, white people, white society in general. I like dark skin. How I feel about, like, it's kind of like, I just can't seem to, I don't know. Like I be trying to look and be like, okay. And I just I can't think of anybody who I'm like, now that's a cute white guy. I have to. I ain't gonna really try to pay attention because I don't care. But yeah, that ain't. I don't know. Um, but it's a lot of like people that like. I think like people talk about how ugly Jay-Z is. I'm like, Jay-Z is not ugly. I mean, like if you just look at him, his features are symmetrical. Um, I'm not reading any of it out loud. I've learned you're a cog in the wheel. I don't know if I have. I'll probably forget by tomorrow. Paul Ryan allows House chaplain to remain in his position after receiving scathing letter that rescinded his resignation. So I don't know if we talked about it, but the preacher for the minister for the Congress, Senate, something, resigned. And they like, oh, they made him resign because he was like, let us pray for the poor. They like, pray for the poor? You quit. And so he resigned, and now he like, I unresign. So Paul Ryan is letting him keep his position. I think Paul Ryan is like, I think he's about to resign, but he might be like the Speaker of the House or something. I think he's from, they're all too ugly to the core. Yeah. I think he's like from Wisconsin, and he don't do no town hall meetings, and he just seemed like evil personified. Like that's that guy with the dark hair, and I remember he was doing some like, damn, up channel dope. I don't know what happened, but let's keep it moving. So Charlotte man outsmarts detective to save himself from being accused of theft at LA Fitness. So they're like, every time you come to the gym, somebody's stuff gets stolen. And they had like a list, and they had arrested the man. And he noticed that the list or whatever was in Pacific time, and he was like on Eastern time or whatever. It was a time issue. And they arrested the person who had like a rap sheet who, was not him. But if he hadn't, his theory is like, if he hadn't said something and hadn't noticed, they'd arrested him. Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's good that he noticed it and that it was effective. I feel like sometimes you notice stuff and it still ain't effective. You know what I mean? Or it don't feel like it's effective. But that's good. And it seemed like LA Fitness, we just steadily talking about them. LA Shitness. What's up with work out at home, exercise. I ain't got no money for nobody hardly. I don't have no money for nobody hardly. Islamic State assassin, how I killed more than 100 people. And they would have like prisoners that they would practice on. He said that he started off as like a protester against the government, not like, we were talking about in the other country, black gyms needed. There are black gyms. Where do you live? Do you have black gyms in your community? Even in Hattiesburg, we had like black gyms. There was like this guy where I had my studio. He had like a workout place. Yeah, I'm gonna start saying that because I feel like every time I say their name, I'm promoting them. And look, they lose and they on some F stuff. None. Dang. Dang, I was about to say something, but now I done forgot. So in Iran, he said he started off at, I don't know if it was Iran or wherever in the Middle East. He started off as like, I want to protest the fact that, just like we were talking about in the African country where the person's term has expired and the person like, I ain't going nowhere. What you gonna do? So he protested. He wanted people who protested. And then it kind of escalated to the point where he ended up getting recruited into ISIS or something. But he was like an assassin. And he talks about like, like practicing killing people on prisoners, and like you'd have a group of 5 and you'd have to shoot one without hitting the other, and they practice on bicycles, and it kind of stressed me out a little bit. But I guess like if that's like the military, like if you're in the military, that's what you get trained to do, to kill people, right? And then I'm like, 100 people. Like, I wonder, like, I've never killed any, like, but 100 people seems like a lot of people. And then I wonder, like, if you're like a Haitian revolutionary and you were like part of the Haitian Revolution, like, how many people did you kill? And, when we watch the show that comes on Walking Dead, there's this whole conversation about how many people have you killed. 100 people seem like a lot of people. And I was trying to remember, well, like, what are some of the, it seemed like on the Walking Dead, it's like 13, 15, like 100 people. Like, what does that do to your soul? But he said now that he doesn't live in this society, in that world anymore, he lives in another world. He said he doesn't feel guilty about it. He basically is like, the work that I was doing, the fight that I was waging was a fair fight. I never killed anybody who didn't deserve to die. And he says that in the society where he is now, like, he doesn't live in the same country. If someone comes up to him and is rude, then he's just like, yes, as you please, as you wish it. Like, he don't have no like, what? You stepped on my shoe, I'm gonna kill you. What? You disrespected me, I'm gonna kill you. Because he feels like that's not just. But he said that fighting for freedom and killing evil people was just. And that's it. That's all I got for the notes on the news. This is the deck I got yesterday. I didn't even have no good tarot decks that I got, but it says obstacles are detours in the right direction. I love the artwork. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. You're right on time and you're in exactly the right place. That's what this says to me. So that's that. Dang, we at 131. So we're not going to do our African country today. Yesterday we did Cape Verde. We'll come back to that. The Habaragani, the news for today, the word for today was faith. Ooh, I liked how they said it. So let's go back to that. Anybody have anything exciting coming up? Anything you're looking forward to? This is the last weekend of my show of Shrek. And I'm really excited that it's going to be over because it's been like just an experience that I will really be happy to have behind me. I like the way they said that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. What you looking forward to? Have you patronized any new and exciting Black businesses or any Black businesses that you want to shout out? Are you a Black business person? You want to shout yourself out? Kwanzaa principles. Go on and shout yourself out. Go on and shout your businesses out. Go on and make some suggestions of who we need to support, who we need to show love to. Okay, let's see if we can find, because the way they said it, I really liked it today. And I added the children. So when I read it this time, I'm going to try to add the children in smoothly so you don't even know it's not written on the page. Okay. Imani, faith. To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our children, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. So that's what I got. That's today's notes on the news. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that other good stuff. Today is the best day ever. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Take care of your family. Take care of your community. Today is the best day ever. You are the greatest. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. Be you. Be fabulous. Oh yes, it's the best day ever. I used to say that all the time. I haven't said that in a long time. It's the best day ever, and you are the greatest. Yes. Peace, y'all.